Craig's stuff. Craig's stuff. Craig's got a lot of stuff. Yeah. Craig's stuff. Craig's stuff. Craig's got a lot of stuff. Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Craig's Stuff. My name is Craig, and this is some of my stuff. Very excited about these figures. They came in actually a few weeks ago over at Zapp Comics, and I picked them up. They have been sitting, waiting to be reviewed, but unfortunately have been on the back burner with a couple other videos and whatnot. But I want to squeeze them in before the new year. So here they are, the new Diamond Select Invincible figures. Honestly, I'm just excited that we're getting Invincible action figures. Thank the Lord for that TV show, because otherwise I don't think I would ever see like quality ones. You can see up top over there, up in the top there, right up there. Those are the old McFarlane Invincible figures, and I think I have I think I'm missing two because they only made Adam, Eve, and Invincible. I never got like the bloody version of the blue one, and then, well, one's kind of a spoiler, so I don't want to talk about that. But Invincible is my favorite comic book, and the show was fantastic. It was an incredible show, and I loved it a lot. So I'm glad we're getting figures. But we will see exactly how good they are. I don't really know. But anyway, first let's take a look at the packaging for these figures. This is the newer type of Diamond Select packaging, which I like a lot more. More cardboard, less plastic, thinner, not those giant big boxes like the Marvel Selects. These are more like the Lord of the Rings ones, which are nice. They're fine. They, not like the best packaging ever. They're very simple, but they work. And then you got Omni-Man. He's number 2, where Invincible is number 1. So I like the artwork on the side of the package. It's the cartoon artwork. Although it would be really cool to get a little Ryan Otley artwork somewhere. All right, so I think without further ado, it's time we pop these suckers open. Alrighty, so first up is our boy Invincible, but before we talk about him, we got to talk about his accessories. And we get a solid assortment here, especially from a Diamond Select figure. There's actually quite a bit here, which is great. Diamond usually doesn't give that much stuff. We usually get a couple extra hands, and that may be about it. Or just stuff that's kind of really required for, like if it's got swords, he's going to, of course, come with swords. But I guess because Invincible has a very basic design, they're able to give us some stuff. So first off, we get this alternate head with his angry face here, and this is nice. I think they did a good job depicting his, angriness. It's cool that we get 2 options for Invincible. The regular face is just kind of just standard, which is cool. Like this a lot. Very nice. Sculpted very well. Definitely looks cartoony. There's not much like detail in the hair. It just kind of looks like it does in the show, which is great. Then we get 2 sets of alternate hands. You get these grabbing hands, and then these flat, I guess you can call them flying hands. Then we get the gloved hand, which is great. You can have him playing catch with his pops, which is fantastic. And then, of course, how can you play catch without a ball? So you have this ball, which is weird. I don't know if you can see in the video, but it's not like perfectly round. It's like slightly, almost like it's being squished. I don't know if that was just a mistake. Not too big of a deal. And then you get the one with the effect piece on it. So this is cool. I guess it has a plug on there. Not really sure, because I imagine this, can probably be used. I guess you can use the plug here. And then that'll be that, and plug it into somewhere. I guess, maybe on the base here, and then, I don't know. Anyway, you got that. Then you have this piece of rubble, which is cool. I like this. It's got a little bit of a weight to it, which is nice. And you got all these, metal things coming out. These are great because they're actually soft plastic, so they probably will not break. So they definitely have some give to them, which is nice. Some actual detail on there. Looks good. paint detail too. You actually have like the different color paint on the top. Gives it that cartoonish look where it's like highlights, which is nice. Nice touch. And then last, we get this base piece. So you get the regular plain base. I've never seen one come with a Diamond Select figure before. I think they must have come with some of the Marvel Selects. I don't know if this is the exact piece, but I've never gotten one from Diamond before. And then included is the arm, which this is, it's a little weird. It's first of all, it's really long, but each piece comes off, so you can shorten this thing if you want. But they all have screws so you can tighten it up, but they're also riveted. So you might want to just loosen the screw a little bit. I think might be the best way to do that, to be honest. So you can see the little thing kind of goes into place like that. But these honestly feel kind of flimsy. They should be fine with the light Invincible figures, but, you know, not the greatest. Also, the difference between this figure and like SH Figure Arts, I guess, these just have a plug. So this piece actually just goes right into the Invincible's back. And then that's how you do the flight. You just plug them right in the back, which I guess, you know, when it's up on a shelf, it's nicer, I guess. You can, you know, it doesn't have that clamp going around it. Now let's take a look at the figure. Alrighty, so here is our boy Invincible, and he is all right. I mean, he definitely looks like he's supposed to look in the TV show, but I can, you know, the biggest thing is it really is the articulation cuts on this figure are just super weak, but we will leave that for the next part. When it comes to sculpt and the paint apps, I think they're fine. I think it looks just like the cartoon. It's good. I mean, he's got a very basic design anyway, so it's not it doesn't really need too much to going on. The paint apps aren't the best, but they're not bad. They are, you know, pretty much Marvel Legends quality, I guess. Maybe a little bit. Yeah, no, I would say about Marvel Legends quality. I mean, you see, you can, like, on his arm here, there's some paint smudging, and it's actually pretty clean around the middle here, but it's definitely not perfect, but it's not bad. Shoulder here, the little black going there. So I do like it a lot. And you can also see how the hand is pretty much, I think it's just molded in the yellow here versus this is paint, so you can see how the yellow differs on the hands and there. So now let's move on to articulation, where that is going to be my biggest problem with this figure. So starting from the head, this is awful. I'm pretty sure he's on a ball joint, but you get like no motion at all. Like you can see, it kind of allows for some motion, so you can get a little bit of head tilt, a tiny bit of look down, and almost no look up whatsoever, which is awful for a figure who's supposed to be like flying is his whole shtick. He's like I said, he doesn't have the most crazy design, so he should be able to be pretty dynamic, and they just did not do that, and that is very, 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 very upsetting for a figure like this. You want him in that cool, like maybe flight pose or whatever. And it just makes me really sad, because I was really hoping to get like an incredible Invincible figure, and they just really didn't do that. Now, keep going. Arms do go up to about a 90-degree angle. They go all the way around. He does have an upper bicep cut. He has, unfortunately, only a single jointed elbow. He's got tiny arms. He should be able to get his arms in more. There's no reason this shouldn't have double jointed elbows in nearly 2022. Then you have, of course, a spin at the wrist, which goes forward and goes backwards as well. Then he doesn't have a cut at the waist, but he has the chest joint with the ab crunch. He does spin. This looks like it can go all the way around. You get a lot of motion there. A tiny bit of tilt and a tiny bit of forward and a little bit back. Then he's got these old ass leg joints, and it's like, what are you guys doing over there? Like, stop with these joints. Which is crazy, because Wave 2, figures do not have these kind of joints. It's just a shame that they couldn't get those on our most important character. So forward goes like that. Back, the only good thing about these joints is that they do go back all the way. but they just look so bad. And then he does have the splits, which leaves this horrible, open, ugly, old joint. I'm sorry. It's just... oh, and look at this. While this is being moved around, it's like he's coming apart here. The midsection is being split. Then he's got the upper thigh cut there. He has a single jointed leg. And at the ankles, they go back. They go forward a little bit. And there is ankle pivot as well. Now, another problem I have with these leg joints at the hips is that you can't bring his legs any closer together. When you want to put somebody in a flying position, usually I like to have the leg joints or the legs closer together. That way it just looks more natural. When he's like this, his legs are just too far apart. Usually you kind of want them coming together a little bit. Honestly, it's just a big disappointment. But moving on. Time to move on to Omni-Man. Oh boy. Alrighty, so here's our boy Omni-Man, but before we talk about him, we got to talk about his accessories, and we get, again, a solid assortment of stuff here. First off, we get this angry face, which is great. It's just a nice-looking face. Eyes are kind of looking up a little bit, so it's maybe you want him... This would be good for, like, a flying pose, definitely, but if it's anything like Invincible, not going to be able to do, but you do also get this alternate, or the regular face, which looks great as well. Then he includes a bunch of sets of hands. We get these like kind of clawed, almost like choking hands. You get and you get the flying hands. Then he comes with regular fists, of course. Then you have a hand here holding a baseball, which, let's see, is the ball removable? No, I don't think it is. Then you got the gloved hand, so you can have him play and catch with his son, of course. Now, the weirdest thing about this figure is this base piece, which it's like the team making this figure was not talking to the team that made the Invincible figure, and they both came up with their own bases for some reason. So he's got this other smaller base, which is weird because he's bigger, and he comes with these even flimsier, really crummy like flight stands. So this just plugs into here, and I guess it can plug into his back, which is actually underneath the cape there. You can see that goes in there. Honestly, I just don't know what they were thinking. I probably won't even use either stand. Maybe just the regular stand, just so they don't never fall over. But I don't know. Anyway, now let's talk about the figure. Alrighty, so here's our boy Omni-Man, and he looks pretty good. Just like Invincible, I think, they did a pretty good job capturing what he looks like in the TV show. It's nice. I think the paint apps they're solid for what they are. They're about Marvel Legends quality. I mean, these are cheaper figures anyway, so you shouldn't never expect crazy good paint apps from something like this. But they're not bad. I think the faces look good. The sculpt is good. It's just really articulation once again that really has problems. I do like the cape. It's always nicer to get like maybe a cloth cape, but these are. Again, they're cheaper figures. You're not really going to get that kind of stuff. It'll look fine on a shelf if, you just have like the whole group standing, which will be cool. And once again, I'm really just happy to have these characters in action figure form because I've been waiting a long time to get one. So I've had like the few things that are available from Invincible already. So yeah, moving on to articulation. His head actually moves, I think, a little bit more than Invincible's head. So he looks up maybe a tiny bit, barely, but he does look down. He does actually tilt a little bit, so you get a little bit more head tilt, definitely more than Invincible. And of course, it does look around. It is just on a ball joint, so you can get that kind of motion. Shoulders go up, not even 90 degrees. Then he's got the upper bicep cut, which is great. He's got a single jointed elbow, which still very disappointing from a figure in this era. And then we have a back and a forth on the wrists, and it does go all the way around. And he has the same type of waist joint that Invincible has, so he does spin a little bit at the waist, goes around. He does crunch forward a teeny bit, crunches back a teeny bit, not really much at all. And it does have a tiny bit of tilt. And he's still got those old leg joints. They go about this far forward. And apparently this one doesn't even go back at all. So, because the way they cut his butt, look at that. His butt is completely in the way. His legs will not go back at all. This figure is, this is weak, man. This is weak. He's got that upper thigh cut. He's got single jointed knees. His feet go back. They go forward. And there is ankle pivot there as well. So Invincible stands just a little bit under 7 inches, while Omni-Man stands about 7.5 inches tall. And here they are next to the McFarlane Toys Geralt from The Witcher. And here they are next to the new Super Saiyan Goku. And here they are next to the Marvel Legends Gibbon. Alrighty, so overall, these are not the greatest figures ever. I'm super happy to have representations of these characters on my shelf, and I'm going to keep getting the line because I've loved Invincible so much. And hopefully it just keeps going just because I need those characters. I mean, I can't wait to get characters like Alan and Battle Beast and some other characters that, you know, if you haven't watched or haven't read the comic book, you won't even know the characters. So I don't really want to talk too much about it if you are just watching the TV show, because there's a lot of great characters and a lot of cool things to come. But it's just a shame that they couldn't really get the articulation up to par. You're talking about a company that has figures that are really good now. The more modern Diamond Select Marvel figures are pretty good. I mean, they like stuff like Psylocke or like Beast, and like they look solid, you know? They move. I don't know what they were thinking. They took a huge step back with these ones for whatever reason. I don't know why they have, maybe they have new teams working on these and they're just using old stuff. I don't really know the specifics, but to me, it's just a shame. I'm glad that the Wave 2 are going to have a little bit better articulation, but they're still not going to have those double jointed elbows. I don't think they're going to have those double jointed knees. I just don't really understand what they're doing. There should also be, you know, a better neck joint so these guys can fly, because you need your characters to look up like this when they're flying. And that's what these guys do. That's what Invincible does all the time. He's flying. If you watch the show, he's constantly flying. I'm sorry. I'm venting. But hopefully maybe we get like a Mafex or something. That would be fantastic if one of those companies did these guys. I would drool. Anyway, if you like this review, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Please check out my Instagram. It's at Craig Stuff. Come back every Friday at noon for brand new videos. And I just wanted to say, everybody, have a very happy and healthy new year. I will see you all in 2022. Later.